The GME OPEX cycle did not go as planned, and me and Justin played it very heavily and obviously got our ass handed to us. We were sitting on a bag of excrement that could not be produced by a human, but it's all going to be okay. So Justin, what are you doing with your current position and what are we looking at now?
I'm not doing anything. I'm not selling to close. This is why I would say, ladies and gentlemen, don't be shy about paying for theta, although with one exception, the August calls. I've got to figure out what I want to do with my August calls. But my Octobers, my Januaries, I'm not planning on doing anything. The other thing is, if you had a chance to catch PiFi stream over the weekend, so the question becomes like, what is the actual deferment process? And this is where you get into the FINRA stuff, which is way beyond my ins and outs. But the point is that it lines up to, if they did delay it by 28 calendar days, which is what I think the answer is, but don't hold me to it, that pushes us all the way to July 15th. You add 2 days on trading. Everyone's heard this spiel before. So I'm really curious to see what happens in middle of July. But in the interim, Josh, I've got to figure out what I want to do with my August. I'm kind of leaning towards rolling the dice.
Yeah, today GME was down a bit. I did close most of my positions, even my 950s, just because I do think that we could see another slip, as if they are rolling the obligations to July 15th. The reason why we say that is that is the next OPEX. I do think that could be a compounding obligation type of expiry. But I know a lot of people got fried. We got fried pretty bad, and it is what it is. I think that is still calculated risk. They had to
Just a point of order, Josh. You only take the loss when you sell to close. As long as the position stays open, the loss is not realized.
Yeah,
or the gain if one is so fortunate.
I sold most of it for like 20 to 30% loss. My stops weren't the greatest, but everyone kind of learns from it and moves on to the next cycle. So I do plan on getting ready to position for the next cycle, but not now. I'm going to hoard some cash, kind of see what happens, and try and tactically position when we get closer to it. But
Josh, I'm also very curious to see what happens with Bed Bath & Beyond. Well, in any event, seeing what happens with Bobby is something that's going to be curious for myself. Again, no clue how to read that, but interesting to see where he goes.
With BBBY, I think the speculation plays out, it'll be extremely asymmetrical, but you need the longs to get in control of the option chain. And what's going to take that? I do think that the next most probable outcome would be July 15th. I think it would be pretty hard unless we see the market rally by 10-15% over the next 2 weeks, that for BBBY to get over $10, which is when the longs will really take control of the option chain, and we could start to see some spiraling out of control. Out that though, BBBY really has no chance. Without it getting some decent interest, there's no chance of it running for the most part, unless earnings are great, which let's be honest here, they just probably won't.
Even if it dips after earnings, like my attitude is, considering my cost basis and the calls I have on Bobby and the data that's left on it, I'm just kind of content to roll the dice and see what happens. Are you any calls on the VIX on the SPY, Josh?
No, I'm just building up my cash position right now. I'm going to start to put more money into my portfolio. I'm going to start liquidating quite a bit because I do want to get better at trading these cycles, and my portfolio just strictly isn't my main concern. It's much more my main priority is business oriented and cash flow in businesses. And if you can grow those, anything can come along. Then you can have more money to put in your portfolio. So the main thing I'm focused on is trying to learn these GME cycles to the best of my ability, because if you can get good at those, that's a way for someone without a ton of capital to make a ton of money. And that's pretty simple. Even though we lost a lot of money over the past week and a half, I think of that as completely calculated risk, and I would do it again tomorrow when the exact same circumstances. Just because when you have a high probability of something happening, and I still think it was a high probability event, it just didn't play out. It's as simple as that. All right, guys, we will do a separate video talking about our weekend at Rebel Capitalist Live and how amazing it was. That is why we have not updated you in the past few days. Thank you. If you want to see that, leave a like, and we'll see you on the next one.